I was thinking something a little bit bigger.
In my ass.
Oh, no, no, no!
Oh, snap!
Bah! Bah! Bah!
Oh! Yes!
Oh.
Yes!
Bah!
Yes!
Bigger!
Bah!
It's
bigger!
We're going to war! Oh! Ah! Bah! 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 Bah!
Okay, you got the brains too. That's what I'm talking about.
Steps!
Right now.
It's the Fresh Prince of Midair, Trey Miguel.
Too sick for this world, Zachary Wentz.
The Cardiac Kid, Desmond Xavier. And we are
The Rascals.
And you are listening to Total
Non-stop
Impact
Podcast, baby.
Woo!
Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the Impact Lounge. This is Trent, along with my co-host, Kyle. Kyle, what the hell was with that intro, man? What the hell?
You didn't like that?
Listen, I'm all for let's how do we say them, the pornographic arts,
Steps.
you know, but what the hell we did? This is a wrestling podcast, Kyle. What are we doing here, man?
No, I grab all the audio for the podcast for my sound bites. I take the weekly episode and I kind of dissect it. And while dissecting audio from this week's episode of Impact, the May 3rd edition to be specific, I came across this part of the show. You recall, Trent, backstage. It was Rich Swann, Tommy Dreamer, Scarlett Bordeaux, everybody backstage together. And if you watch the video clip, you know the context of it. But if you just listen to it right here out of context, it kind of sounds like they're having an orgy. Take a listen.
Oh, no, no, no!
Oh, snap!
Bah! Bah! Bah!
Oh!
Ah!
Oh! Yes!
Oh!
Yes!
Bah!
Yes!
Bigger!
Bah! Bigger!
We're going to war!
Oh!
Ah! Bah! 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 Bah!
Okay, you got the brains too. That's what I'm talking about.
So then me, of course, I had to remix it and put the porn music under it. Of course, everything sounds funnier with porn music behind it, wouldn't you say, Trent?
I wish I could have porn music just to narrate like basic things, you know, like if I'm making a cup of coffee, but then it turns into a sexy cup of coffee.
Well, don't you wish you could just have me like follow you around for a day and just click sound bites? You know, narrate your life for a day, clicking my sound bites.
What a scumbag!
I think, Kyle, next time I come to New York, or if you ever make it to Chicago, I think we're gonna have to do something like that for the channel. Some bonus content for the channel. Well, you know, while we had that question out there, or while we had that topic out there, let me pose a question to our loungers. What is your favorite Kyle soundbite that he puts out? I have a feeling Kyle's going to do the In My Ass one by Moose.
In My Ass is a cult classic. I got to say, people love Moose in my ass.
In my ass.
Yeah, they sure do love Moose in your ass. But, tell us what's your favorite soundbite, guys. I'm curious. But let's kick this review off, Kyle. We are talking the May 3rd, 2019 edition of Impact Wrestling.
Whoa. I'm not ready to kick off no review. You just came back from the Philadelphia tapings, Trent. I want to hear about your experience. Tell me about your trip. How are you just going to dive into the review like that and not tell the loungers about your Philadelphia experience at the ECW Arena for Impact?
Well, technically, the reason I was doing that was in chronological order. This episode was airing before those tapings were done. And so I was at the taping while this was airing. So I figured I'd talk about it after.
I don't care. I want to hear about the trip.
All right, well, a couple of things.
I want to hear about the cheesesteak.
All right, we tried 5 different cheesesteaks.
Which, by the way, Trent, the vegan bet right down the tubes. I lasted 3 days.
Oh, you're
3 days.
Failure, complete failure. Whoops, he's disappointed. As a vegan, he's disappointed. But 5 cheesesteaks. We tried, just for people who know Philly, went to Gino's and Pat's, which are the common ones. Our girlfriend wanted to try those. I've been there. Tony Luke's, which is right by the arena. Went to Jim's on South Street and went to Max's way the hell out. So 5 of them, It's a lot of goddamn cheesesteak, Kyle. But we also were at the ECW arena, which was cool. My first time there. I'm an ECW mark from back in the day, so it was kind of cool to be there, Kyle. I tripped. I was tripping out, man. It was kind of cool to be there. Have you ever been to the ECW arena?
Never. That is a long time dream right there, Trent. You're very lucky. I gotta ask though, out of all the cheesesteaks you encountered, what was the best cheesesteak? If you could pick one, what one stood out amongst all the others?
My favorite is Tony Luke's. I've had it twice before. And
now, is that the specific one that Tommy Dreamer and Paul Heyman used to eat at before ECW shows or after ECW shows?
Yeah, it's right down the street from the arena. That's when I tried a couple years ago, and I went back. Still my favorite. I dug it, man. My girlfriend liked Jim's, real popular place. Line down the street. Super popular. It was good. I wouldn't say it was my favorite, but Tony Luke's is my winner. Right by the arena.
Good to know. But overall, Trent, without giving any spoilers, how were the tapings? If you could, should we expect some great TV come a few weeks from now?
I'm gonna put it this way: there is some fantastic TV on the way. Like, here's the thing: I can't even see none of the backstage skits or anything. I can't see any of that stuff. But as far as everything that happened in the ring, we're in for some really fun May, man. There's some good shit on the way the next couple weeks. So definitely be excited, guys, because there's some fun stuff. I gotta say, Kyle, it was surreal, man, being in the ECW arena. It was cool to see Impact in that arena. Now they changed it around. Anybody's an old ECW fan, you remember the entranceway used to be off to the side. It was like kind of on an angle. No longer on an angle. It's kind of right in the middle, like right underneath what was the crow's nest where Joey Styles would sit and everything. And so it's underneath that. The place looks very nice. It's not like a dumpy bingo hall like it used to be, but it was, hey, man, it has a cool wrestling vibe, and the crowd was hot for Impact. So I really enjoyed it.
Great to hear, Trent. Now, did you catch Hat Guy or any of the ECW original fans? Did anybody show up?
No, Hat Guy. Are
these guys still alive?
Yeah, that's the question, right? No Hat Guy, but our version of Hat Guy is, as everybody knows, the one guy in the front row on every show, Impact show, is the guy with the, it used to be the EC3 jacket guy. Now he's Moose Vest guy. And that's my buddy Bill.
Oh, he's
Bill
great. He's great. That guy makes me happy when I see him in the front row of an Impact show. Like, he's like the mayor of Impact fans. I'd like to put that here on the show that we've elected that guy. We've nominated him as the official mayor of Impact fans.
That's Bill. He's a great dude. He's a very lovable, great dude. He's famous for being a fan. Super, super nice guy. I met him back in 2016. I went down for Slammiversary. I met him in Orlando, and we hit it off, and he's a great dude, man. So he was there. He was rocking a couple different Moose vests. He's got some Moose boots also. So he's right there.
He had the jacket with the EC3 faces all over it. I was totally jealous.
That was the first thing, and then he's EC3's gone, so now it's Moose. But dude, he was there, man. There was a lot of regulars there. A lot of regulars seeing the crowd. The crowd was cool. It was a cool crowd. It was good people, man. It was people who just loved seeing good stuff. So definitely a lot of fun, man. I'll do a little live reaction report on the channel in a couple days.
A little in-house tapings report, something like that.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoiler. But just a little bit of a response of how I felt to be there. But I will say this: I'm going to put this one thing out there. That goddamn louse, as Vince Russo calls him, that louse.
I'd make a great executive vice president too.
Disco Inferno snubbed me, Kyle. He snubbed me after being a fan for so long. He snubbed me.
What do you mean, Disco Inferno snubbed you? Explain.
All right, here's the thing, right? So I got there early. Me and the girlfriend got to the arena early because we know the people in the back, so we figured we walk in, say hello to the folks, and we pull up, we're walking in, and Disco's pulling up in his Uber. And he's getting out. I said, oh, shit, hey, Disco, how's it going? Doesn't say a word. Looks right at me, doesn't say a word. Okay. I said, hey, compliment question, right? Because that's his thing when he says on Russo's show. He says, or on keep it at 100. He goes, if you say, give me a compliment, and a question, shake your hand, take a picture with you. I said, compliment, question, doesn't say a word. I said, wow, okay. And
What
then,
a scumbag.
And then here's the final straw. He's walking in, we're walking in. He realizes he left his Uber door open. He shuts the door. I hold the door open for my girlfriend, and he's coming. I said, hey, come on in. I hold the door open for him.
He got out of the Uber and left the door open and had to, go back and shut the door?
Yeah, and I still held the door open to the arena for him. Not even a thank you. Snub.
He's a professional going to work. You paid to see him. He doesn't have to say hello to you. Why would he have to say hello to you?
My girlfriend looks at me, Colin. She goes,
he doesn't owe you shit, Trent.
She looks at me and she goes, did you just mark out right there? I go, well, kind of.
You love disco. Yeah, you've always loved disco. You've been saying that for as long as I've known you.
But he snubbed me. I was hurt.
Oh, that one must have right in the heart, man. You always loved disco more than most people. You love disco, and that's what you get. That's what you get, Trent. That's what you get. That's what you get for believing in false idols, louses like disco.
Louse, what a louse!
I make a great executive vice president too.
Well, no, listen. Overall, I got to meet ChaCha. That was I was supposed to take a picture with him, but things didn't line up. Nobody was around to take a picture.
ChaCha. You met the great ChaCha, the Daisy Hit Squad. Tell us about that, Trent. Where did you run into ChaCha?
I was talking Rohit, and I said, and then Raj came up. Hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. Finally, we're talking. He's a listener of the show as well. So Raj, shout out to you. And I said, Rohit goes, he's been wanting to meet your dad. He goes, okay, let me go get him. Brings his dad over, and I said, man, this is I said, ChaCha, this is a meeting years in the making here. And he was very humbled by that, and we had a really long talk. Dude, it was exactly everything I hoped it would be. We talked like I was talking to my uncle. It was amazing. We sat there, we talked.
You smoke any of that good hookah with him?
You're not even doing that one.
I asked him about it. I said, ChaCha, now you don't tell me everything. But how much of that old school, that old country blend did you partake in?
The Dawa.
You're not even doing that one.
In your day. And he laughed. He just laughed and he didn't say yes or no. He just laughed.
He didn't answer the question. That's all you need to know.
That's all I needed to know, man. He was
You're not even doing that one.
He was cool. He was cool as shit. We talked a lot about the two cultures, some ideas for the tag team. We had some fun. It was a good time. Raj is cool too, man. His son, he's cool as shit too, man. And then Rohit's the man. So we had a good time talking for sure.
Awesome. Great to hear about the Philly tapings. But Trent, everybody is here to hear us review the May 3rd edition of Impact. So let's get into it. No comments this week. I haven't been around in a while. You were on with BQ last week. I imagine most of the comments consist of welcome back BQ. So therefore, we'll skip the comments this week. But Loungers, please make them good because I'm going to come back next week. I'm going to do a double. I'm not going to leave you alone without me next week. I know what it's like. The people miss me, Trent.
Listen, Kyle, you're the draw, man.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you.
My bites.
There's more comments.
There's
more comments when Kyle's on. There's more interaction when Kyle's on. There's play counts fly when Kyle's on. I'm telling you, you can't be missing weeks here, Kyle. The people are there waiting for you. They look forward to having you on. We can't go without you anymore. All right, so no more slack.
I'm here to stay. Trent. This is the summer of scum.
Summer of scum.
The summer of scum. I'm not going to miss a show all summer. Summer of scum.
God damn. Well, SOS, everybody. It's the summer of scum.
What a scumbag!
All right, Kyle, let's jump into this, man. We were at May 3rd, back at the Rebel Complex. This is the post-Rebellion show. So this was right after the show. This is right after the pay-per-view. So we
You're in the crowd for this one still?
No. This is Toronto. This is Toronto now. I was in Windsor.
Okay.
This is right after the pay-per-view. So we had Michael Elgin open him. Elgin debuted on the pay-per-view. That's a huge debut. He opens it. Talks about, basically, they did a smart thing here, Kyle, because Cage is legit hurt, right? Cage is legitimately hurt, but Elgin plays it off like the power bomb he gave him is what put him away. And I was like, that's pretty good, little smart little twist. They basically said, hey, people are saying it's the that fall you took, but we all know it's my power bomb. So basically, Elgin played it up that he's the one who did it, and he declared himself number one contender basically for the title. That brought out Johnny. Johnny comes out. They exchange some couple crazy sick burns, about Johnny goes after Elgin's balding. Elgin says, "Well, I might be balding, but at least my balls are connected to my body and not in my wife's purse." I mean, there were some sick burns here, Kyle.
I had to, I had to grab audio of that one.
Oh yeah.
My testicles are still located on my body, and yours are in your wife's purse.
A little good back and forth, and then Conan comes out, and he's basically saying he's Penta's agent, and he's demanding Penta gets his rematch, because I guess he never got one, Kyle. I'm not remembering correctly, but they made it sound like Penta never got his rematch for the belt. So a lot of burns back and forth. They go back. Then there's a little bit of a tension there. Penta runs out, brawls with Elgin. Johnny cheap shots Elgin. And they announce a triple threat for later on that night. So basically, it's the number one contender's triple threat. But I was confused, man. I want the loungers to chime in on this. Did Penta never get a rematch for the title when he dropped the title? So I got to figure that out. I thought he did, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, well, that's why you want somebody like Conan representing you, Trent.
That's right. Now, here's the thing, Kyle. Too soon to put Elgin in the title picture? I mean, what are we already? I mean, yeah.
Come on, Trent. This is what they do. I mean, I love Impact. I'm not. This isn't. I'm not saying this is a negative thing, but I feel like Impact, when they get somebody new and they have some buzz going, they like to throw them right in the main event scene. They do this quite often. I'm not surprised at all. But Elgin isn't the type of guy that I was expecting that from. Usually they have a habit of doing it with past WWE guys that have just jumped over. But Elgin's somebody coming from the totally opposite direction. Somebody from the New Japan / Ring of Honor territory. I guess the Brian Cage situation, definitely helps him out in this scenario.
Yeah, it was cool. As I thought it was interesting was since they're playing it off like Elgin's the one who injured him, kind of puts Elgin over a little bit, and it legitimizes the injury a little bit more than just being like an accident. So, yeah, for storyline purposes, it all kind of worked out.
More tough guy points for Elgin.
Yeah, exactly. It all worked out, man. So, we'll see where they go with it. I thought it was a little too soon, but you're right. I told a buddy this today, and he goes, "How are you not used to this yet?" That's what they do.
Strike while the iron's hot, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm big on building a guy up rather than just hey, throw him into the title picture, because it's like, what is he going to do? Win in his first match and that's it? I don't know.
I understand. I totally feel you on that. Hopefully that's not where they go. But hey, this guy's all business. He's kicking the door down.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, we'll see where it goes from there. But there was a little hype there, Kyle, after that to hype up the Impact Plus. If you guys haven't heard it, we have a little news bit on the Impact Plus here on the lounge. Check it out. But I was hyping up Code Red, which was the House of Glory partnership show. Kyle, I think I'm gonna review that one too. I watched it. I was stuck in an airport coming back from Philly for several hours.
It was a fun show, Trent. It was the first show that I watched on the Impact Plus app, which, by the way, Trent, I have a very important announcement to make here on the show, Trent. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I just would like to announce to all the loungers, all the listeners, that I am an Impact Plus subscriber. And you know what, Trent? I no longer have to go to the armpit of the internet and give my computer AIDS anymore. No more. I'm doing it right. I've got my Impact Plus. It works just fine for Roku. I used to have problems with GWN and Roku, but now I have my Impact Plus. Everything is great. I love the app. I've been using it nonstop. Just like Don Callis on the episode, he said that his girlfriend was going to break up with him for watching it too much, but then he went and bought her one, and now she watches it too much.
Yeah, one of my girlfriends was getting real hot at me because she says I spend all my time on Impact Plus. Did you know that?
No, you hadn't shared that information with me.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
Ace Austin now, trying to turn things around. Literally on Petey Williams, another cover, hooks the outside leg and a kick out. I hope you broke up with this girlfriend.
Which one?
The one that told you to get off of Impact Plus.
No, I got her to subscribe as well. Now she watches it.
I'm loving Impact Plus, but more importantly, I don't have to go to the bootlegging websites and give my computer viruses anymore. I can do it the right way.
You're a legitimate boy now. You're a legitimate guy. Look at you.
I'm legit. I'm legit now, Trent.
Good job, kid. Good job. All right, man. We had Ace Austin and Petey Williams after this, Kyle. I thought it was kind of interesting, man. It was a little rebellion fallout because I think Ace pinned Petey, I believe. I thought Don had a funny quote in here. He, you know that spot that Petey does where he steps on the guy's nuts and he yells, "Oh, Canada."
Yeah.
Don's like, why does he yell, "Oh, Canada," when he steps on a guy's balls? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. What do his balls have to do with it? But, and then in the same breath, man, I don't know if you caught any of these. Don was on this show.
Don's on fire. Don is always on fire. I want you to know this, Trent, that I'm going to get some heat for saying this. I was thinking this, and sometimes we come off as those guys that, like, no matter what, we're just always in the now, and we're always loving what Impact is doing. But I can honestly say, and I really mean this, Don and Josh are the best team that Impact has ever had. I think they are the most solid announced team. And there are so many people right now that are going to attack me in the comments and say, "Oh, you really enjoy them more than Tenay and Don West?" And the answer is yes, I do. I totally do. I think that Josh is extremely underrated. Josh reminds me a lot of Joey Styles. I think Josh is very underrated. I think he gets a lot of I don't know. I think he gets a lot of hate for no reason. I think a lot of people shit on Josh for his WWE past and things like that more than his actual, broadcasting skills. I think he's a great broadcaster. But Don Callis is special. The guy is hilarious. This guy, he's such a great play-by-play announcer, but he can carry the entire show with his sense of humor and just add a whole nother it's just a whole nother layer to everything. It's the soundtrack, to the entire episode. I think that Josh and Don really are the perfect announce team, Trent. I do believe that.
Yeah, they're great together. And I said this a couple weeks ago. I said, man, a excited Josh Matthews is unstoppable, man.
That's what I'm saying. Did you agree with me though that he reminds me of Joey Styles? That's who I feel like that's who he channels when he's going, when he's on fire.
I think when he's definitely on fire, when he's motivated, absolutely. I think he has that. Sometimes he
has to have the right partner. That's the thing with Josh. I noticed he has to have the right partner, and him and Don are just perfect together, I think.
Yeah, I thought he was good with Pope too. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I thought he was great with Pope. Did you not think so?
I was a Josh and Pope guy, but I don't know. Listening back compared to Don and Josh. Don and Josh are way better than Josh and Pope, but I did like Pope.
Yeah, Pope. I thought Pope and Josh were good, man. I thought they had a good
shot of caffeine, Daddy.
Shot of caffeine, Daddy. I used to love when he would say he would throw in song lyrics, but play them off. It was really cool. He'd be like, there was one he used. He said. He goes, "Guilty feet have got no rhythm, Daddy." And I was like, where do I know that line? Pope, and it's George Michael's song.
Pope will go down as the most unappreciated Impact announcer of all time, I think.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think he doesn't get enough credit at all for how good he was.
Pope Daddy.
But yeah, man. So we went from that over to Ace Austin and Petey Williams, dude. It was I already started that. So yeah, it was cool because I looked at it like an old versus new. It's almost like Ace is like today's version of what Petey was back in 2004. He's got that arrogance, he's got that curly hair that Petey had, and kind of like that smugness, and he was good. He was doing some new innovative moves. I really looked at it like this is almost a torch pass as well.
Yeah, well, Trent, it's a common theme lately here on the show. We're always talking about how finally we're at this point where you have guys on the roster that are in their early to mid-20s, and they're guys that grew up watching TNA on Spike, and I wouldn't doubt that somebody like Ace Austin watched Petey Williams coming up, and that was a guy he looked up to, especially with the whole X Division style. So it's cool to see that passing of the torch week in and week out.
Yeah, and that's what you need, man. You need to start doing that, especially while you got these veterans and they're still active. You know, you got to utilize them for what they are, man. But no, I thought it was really neat. I thought it was a good match. You know, Ace beat Petey with the fold, and like I said, I really feel like Ace he reminds me so much of a young Petey Williams, and I hope they kind of continue the feud a little bit to build to an even bigger match. Would be nice. But even if this is it, I'm okay with it being a nice little torch pass. But we'll see. We cut from that, Kyle, over to Rosemary. She's with one of the Undead Maid of Honor. She's kind of messing with her in the back. And then we jump over to OVE, and all of them, the full clan is back there, and Sammy's taking shots at management. And then in the middle of what he's saying, he looks over at Dave Chris, and he's like, "What are you wearing? What are you wearing?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm Wild Thing." And he's dressed like Rick Vaughn, Wild Thing from Major League. And
I had to grab the soundbite of that.
It was great. It was awesome. And then he challenges he challenges Swann to a 4-on-4. So he says, "Swann, get your team, OVE versus your 4." So we're gonna get a little setup for that later on. That kind of kicks it back to our intro this week. But we'll get to that as well. Next match, Kyle, is Rosemary and Kyra Hogan, the one of your favorites, the girl on fire.
Yes. Another one of my wives. You see, I'm married to Kyra and Rosemary. If you didn't know.
Oh, okay. I thought
I'm married to both of them. If you didn't know.
Okay, you got that Mormon thing going on, huh?
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. All the knockouts are my wives. Like, I don't know about Rosemary. That's like, I definitely would. You'd want to be married to Kyra. You'd want to be married to Taya Valkyrie. You'd want to be married to Tessa Madison. But like, I don't know if I'd want to be married to Rosemary. She's beautiful. You definitely would want to be married to like Courtney Rush. But I mean, Rosemary's a little too freaky. You know what I mean? That could be like a fun weekend freaky encounter. But like, do you want to raise a family with Rosemary?
You know, she's religious.
I don't want her taking my kids into the undead realm, Trent.
She's religious, you know. She's committed. She's shown she's committed to people. She's a unique dresser. She has a very unique sense of style, and great education. She uses a lot of big words. She's Kyle, I think you might be onto something with Rosemary here. You know, you got a good future. The future kids. Little Kyle and Kylette can have a future with Mama Rosemary.
Oh man, you just took that too far and made that creepier than it was intended to be. Trent, move along.
All right, man. So there's pretty basic match, a little back and forth. This was more going to be built on story than anything. But the Undead Bridesmaids run out. They attack Rosemary, and I noticed one good thing here, Kyle. So they got Rosemary down. And they're punching her, terribly. Like these girls must be rookies. I don't know what they are, but they're punching her like shit. And Don very intelligently covered for the shitty punches. Did you catch this?
No, elaborate.
He says those punches don't look that hard, but these girls are under such a spell of Su Yung that who knows how much strength they're putting behind it or something. Basically, like he put a little twist on it to cover for the fact that these girls were punching like shit. Dude. It looked terrible.
That's funny.
Great job by Don.
Dr. Don.
He doctored that.
Dr.
That
Don.
segment. What was cool was Kyra contemplated helping Rosemary, but then she looked at her and she turned around and walked away, and they reminded us that Rosemary told her she doesn't want any help.
Yes, that's what I got from this trend. This was great for me because it was a very important moment for Kyra. We finally saw some more character out of Kyra. You know what I mean? A different side of her personality.
Yeah, she needed it. She needed to grow a little bit.
It's Rosemary's fault, first of all.
Totally her fault.
Totally Rosemary's fault. And let me just say, I love Kyra Hogan, Trent, and I noticed Kyra Hogan has been part of the show for months and months now. I don't think she's locked into a deal yet. And I got to say, she's part of the Knockouts family. I think Impact needs to sign Kiera Hogan to a deal. That's somebody I mean, what's the point of having her on the show every week if you're not going to lock her into a contract? Now, I could be wrong on that. I could definitely be wrong. She could be locked in. But I am almost positive she's still a free agent. And that's got to change. We need Kiera in the Knockouts family.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about Kira's contract at all. I don't know, man. I haven't heard anything that she's been per appearance. I heard she was on per appearance. But
yeah, I would like to see a nice little series of matches between her and Rosemary.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I think it'd be good for Kiera to grow with it.
Yeah.
She gets into a veteran.
She needs this. This is like, we always say, Moose was good, but he wasn't great until they switched up his character. She needs some of that flavor, Spice things up.
She's pretty spicy, Kyle. She's the girl on fire.
Oh, well, I'm married to her. I would know.
That's right. That's Mrs. Kyle.
That's right.
So we'll see, man. We'll see where they go. I'm assuming a match pretty quickly. They'll probably turn that match around pretty fast. I'm even guessing as soon as next week. So we'll see how they fall on that. But Taya's in the back. Knockouts champion, Kyle. She's in the back with Melissa Santos. She's going on about being the champion. And Madison Rain interrupts and says she wants a shot. Taya says no, absolutely not. And she goes, basically, so she basically rejects her. They're done. Then we go to a little Impact Plus memory. And then as we come back from that, the memory, by the way, was Kurt Angle's debut, if anybody's interested. Available on Impact Plus. Only $7.99 a month. But we come back from that, and Santos is outside of management's office, and you can hear Taya in there yelling and making demands. And she comes out. She's pretty happy. And Santos says, what? What's going on? And Taya says, well, I don't have to defend the title for 30 days.
What a scumbag!
And that's it. 30 days.
Scumbag.
Safe. Scumbag.
That's we got Josh in on it too now, Trent. Check this out.
What a scumbag. What a scumbag. What a scumbag.
We had Don for all that time. We still have him, but now we have Josh also saying what a scumbag. I feel like Josh threw that into the episode for us, Trent. I really do.
I think, I'm telling you, Josh is listening because I'm telling you, man, he's pronouncing the word Daisy properly. I'm convinced.
What a scumbag.
So the reason I'm unrolling these scumbag bites right here, though, Trent, is because Taya Valkyrie has been Scumbag of the Week 2 times now. She's a 2-time Scumbag of the Week. Loera Loca, Loera Scumbag. Now, because of this little scene here, what she just pulled in the management office with the 30-day compete clause in her contract, Taya Valkyrie is now, Trent, a 3-time Scumbag of the Week.
What a scumbag. What a scumbag. What a scumbag.
3 times. 3
I
times. Now it's important to add, though, Trent, I applaud scumbaggetry. When we do Scumbag of the Week, I'm not exactly attacking these people. I love Taya Valkyrie. I think she is a fantastic Knockouts champion.
Loera Loca.
Yeah, Loera Loca, indeed. I applaud scumbaggetry, but Trent, it's your job to attack these scumbags.
Well, you are the scumbag.
That's what I'm saying. I am a scumbag. Proud scumbag.
Well, here's what happened, Kyle. So, for those who don't know, we found out that Taya listens to the show because she responded to us last week, and she basically said, Scumbag of the Week, huh?
Tweeted us.
She tweeted us saying Scumbag of the Week, and we're like, oh, shit. She listens to the show. Now, I'm going to tell a little story here, Kyle. In Philly, I'm talking to Raj Singh, the Daisy Hit Squad, and Taya walks by, and he says, oh, hey, and he gives her a hug, hello. She looks back at me and gives me this look as if I fucking know who you are.
What a scumbag.
And
Scumbag.
It wasn't a mean look. It wasn't a mean look.
She was looking at you like you were the scumbag.
Well, I think she was looking at me to say something, hey, hey, Taya, what's up? Hey.
Yeah, that's what's funny is that these people, you go to more shows than I do, and I'm the one on the podcast sometimes, violating things in that regard, and you have to go take the heat. You very well could have got punched in the face right there, Trent. She could have came up and said, "Oh yeah, scumbag, I'll show you, scumbag." It would have been my fault, and you would have had to take the brunt of it.
Yeah, dude, she gave me that look, and she was waiting for me to say something, and she walked away. So she'll probably hear this. Taya, unfortunately, you're a 3-time scumbag of the week.
I call him like I see it, Trent. You know what? If I were a wrestler, that's how I would do it. She's smart. 30 days now. She doesn't have to defend her title.
What a scumbag.
I'll tell you what.
Smart scumbag.
I'm going to say this, as much of a scumbag of the week she is, I still am going to put over her match at Rebellion.
Fucking awesome.
Oh, dude. I said it was her best match. I think she told such a good story at Rebellion with Jordan. And I listen, she might hate our guts, Kyle. She might think we are pieces of shit. No.
You're the piece of shit, not me. I applaud scumbags. Which, by the way, Trent, while we're on the subject, I'd like to mention, for weeks and weeks, we were against Johnny Impact here on the podcast. We just weren't getting behind him when he was, I'd say, portrayed more as a good guy on the show. You know what I mean? More of a baby face, if you want to use those terms. But ever since he's picked up this new attitude along with Taya, it's like the scumbag era. Now he's Johnny Scumbag. She's Taya Scumbag. They come from Scum Town. I'm loving these people now because now that he's more of a bad guy, the cheesy stuff that he says, it comes off in more of a douchey tone, more of a douchey manner, and I couldn't be any more of a Johnny Impact fan. In fact, Trent, I think we need to get the belt back on Johnny Impact.
Oh, slow down with that.
I mean that. Kyle Impact, man. I'm with it. Johnny Bravo, the evil referee. This shit is awesome. I'm with this. See, that's how quick Kyle flips the switch, Trent.
Well, slow down. Listen, we just got the belt off, and let's have a little fun here first. But no, I agree with you though. He's way better as a heel, man.
That's all it took. They just had to take his character, put him in a different direction, and now he's great.
Yeah, he is pretty good now, man. I gotta say, I've been enjoying heel Johnny's fantastic. So I'm digging it. I'm digging what they're doing with him.
He's a scumbag. Ty's a scumbag. Johnny Bravo's a scumbag, and I'm on board for all of it.
What a scumbag!
They're making the scumbags proud, Trent.
I mean, you all stick together. That's how it works, right? I mean, scumbags stick together.
You're damn right. La Güera Loca to that, Trent.
La Güera Loca.
You scumbag bastard. All right, so let's see what we got here, man. All right, so we'll see what happens in 30 days. 30 days is going to be June 3rd. And I don't know
30 days of Taya still being champion.
We got another month. She gets a reign for a month.
The first lady of Scumtown.
First lady of Scumtown it is, and she's gonna stay first lady for another month at least.
That's right.
Hey, but you know what? They're gonna be taping at the Melrose Ballroom in June.
And I'm gonna be there.
June 6th and 7th, I think it is.
Yep, 6th and the 7th, and then just on the 9th they're coming back for the 8th, House of the 8th. Okay, it's the House of Hardcore / Impact Twitch. I wish I remembered the name of the show. It's digital something, digital destruction.
No. I thought that was hang on. I thought we're looking at the 8th.
Pull up the schedule, Trent. I know you got it in front of you.
They're back at the ECW Arena on the 8th. That's where it is. That digital destruction. I don't know what's the date on that one. Let's see. I'm pulling up the schedule right now as we talk.
I'm telling you, Trent, they're doing Queens Melrose Ballroom Thursday and Friday, and then Sunday they're going to be very close to my home here on Long Island. Same venue they had that GFW house show last summer, 2 summers ago.
The 9th they're there by you for Digital Destruction, but
I'll be there.
But they announced the 8th, that Saturday night. They're going back to the ECW Arena for it's called A Night You Can't Miss, and it's starring the great Muta. So Muta is making his return to Impact Wrestling. So they got a huge 4-night stand right here, right? So they're going New York, Philly, New York. That's gonna be that's a badass weekend, Kyle.
Kicking summer off right, Trent. I'm gonna be at I don't know if I'm going to be at Friday night in Queens, but Thursday night in Queens, definitely going to be there. And then Sunday, very close to my home, I will definitely be at the show on Sunday. So loungers, come find me. I'll be in the house. Let's have a beer together.
I wish I could make that stretch, man. I'm going to be I got a gig myself on June 7th, so I won't be able to make it. I mean, I could fly out the 8th, but might be tough. Might be a little tough weekend. But so yeah, that's awesome. That is
more
really
beers
cool
for
shit.
me.
More beers. Well, more beers for you anyway. So
yeah, I forgot who I was dealing with here.
Clean cut, baby, clean cut. I don't screw around, Kyle. I'm a clean cut, straight laced guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on the Scumbag Army, Kyle. I just maintain the Scumbag Army for our listeners. I'm not on the Scumbag Army though. There are quite a few of our listeners are on the Scumbag Army. They do
Trent,
love Team Scumbag.
Trent, you're a brave man for what you do.
I try.
It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it. It's a tough job.
Fighting the wave of the scumbagatry that you bring to this.
Let's
channel.
pull the curtain back. You could have been listening to this podcast 24 hours ago, folks. Me and Trent made plans to do the show last night. In fact, I Snapchatted Trent, me on my couch, watching Impact Plus, waiting for Trent to get home and get on Skype so we could record the podcast. And you know what happened, folks? You want to know what happened?
Tell him.
The Kyle man fell asleep with a stomach full of pizza.
And I'm texting him. I'm going, hey, I'm online. I'm ready. No answer. I call him. No answer. I text him again. No answer. I go, this is some happy horse shit, man.
At what point do you realize this guy is snoring away? It's got to hit you at some point. This guy is definitely sleeping.
You know, I could tell you because I'll tell you exactly when it hit me because because I texted you. I texted you exactly when I said, hang on, I'll tell you exactly when. So at 10:12 p.m., I said, hey, 30 minutes? No answer. 11:28 p.m., I go, yo, no answer. 2 minutes after that, I said, did you fall asleep, you scumbag?
You scumbag. That was the text I saw when I woke up.
I don't get an answer. Loungers, I don't get an answer till 8 in the morning Central Time that says, ha, ha, ha. Of course I fell asleep.
Laughing in your face, too.
Like a scumbag.
Pointing my finger in your face and laughing at you.
Ha, ha, ha. Of course I fell asleep. Right on the couch.
Of course
The very couch you Snapchatted me from during the main event. Stomach full of pizza. He goes, I took off of work from tonight just to do this tonight. So he made good on it, folks. We're doing it right now. The guy took off of work. He rewatched the show this afternoon.
You fall for my scumbag tricks, though. Like, clearly the guy just looks for any sort of excuse to take off from work. Oh, yeah, I have to do a podcast tonight.
Yeah, your boss by thinking you're a louse taking off for a podcast.
Hey, so the scumbags need rest, too, man. You know, I can't scrub toilets every night.
I don't blame you. You're not a bad guy. You just play one on TV, Kyle.
That's it.
What can I say?
That's it.
All right. All right, man. So we go to the LAX clubhouse here, Kyle. They're drunk as shit. LAX is drunk. They're singing. Conan's drunk. He's singing. We need to find out what they were singing. Anybody
I've got that. Hello.
La vida te trae sorpresa te da la vida, ay Dios.
Anybody knows what they're singing right there? Translate it. What's that song? Is it a famous song? Is it an oldie, a classic? You know, tell us what they were singing right there. But Ortiz is drunker than all of them. He's acting a fool. Conan goes on to say that the Rascals have invited them to the treehouse. I guess they're calling it the treehouse, Kyle. Calling it the treehouse because they got trees in there. I guess
smoking trees in the treehouse.
Great stuff. So they're gonna go hang out, and they're excited about hanging out in the treehouse. LAX in the treehouse. I really hope this is a tape skit. I really do, and I can't wait to see what happens. Comedy gold. They're a little more dimensions to the characters now. Comedy gold, Kyle. I think Ortiz is hilarious, and this dude is comedic gold. Thoughts? Feedback? What do you think?
Thoughts. LAX is the best tag team in all of professional wrestling, and they are homegrown Impact Wrestling talent.
Dude, that's the best part. That's the best part.
Homegrown. And Impact can still do it. To me, LAX is proof that we can still, we can still do that. We can still give birth to new stars. And since then, when the Scott and Don regime took over, look at everything Impact is developing now. Scarlett Bordeaux, Ty Valkyrie, Rosemary, Killer Kross, Su Yung. I mean, come on. We have a very animated cast of characters. And LAX is just a team, though, you look at, and they make you proud to be a fan of the company and support the company. They totally do.
Yeah, I agree, man. They definitely do. Good.
The company struck gold with LAX, and I hope they're able to lock them in and keep them for a long time.
I hope so. I'm sure they, they gotta do what's best for them, but I hope Impact keeps them. So we'll find out. But Kyle, we go to Eddie Edwards and Phoenix after this. This was the match I noticed BQ was really looking forward to. Eddie Edwards and Phoenix, good match, man. This is a good match on paper already.
They also replayed this match on this week's episode of Explosion, which I watched on Impact Plus. Guess what, Trent? Not only am I loving Impact Plus legally, not giving my computer aids going on the bootlegger websites, I'm also being caught up on Explosion. Explosion of all shows. I watched Explosion just before we were podcasting here tonight, and they replayed the Eddie Edwards and Phoenix match, but the new match of the night was Congo Kong versus Wentz. Quick little match. And then we had Around the Ring with Moose. Definitely check out Explosion. Nice weekly content there on the Impact Plus app.
Yeah, I was there for that. That Wentz and Congo is from Windsor. I was in that. I was there for that one.
Oh, shit.
Good match.
Trent, man in the crowd.
Man in the crowd, man. I was up there. Hard camera looking in top left. If you want to look in, look for the mop of hair.
Eddie Edwards versus Phoenix. Hell of a match.
Solid match. Crowd was a little quiet to begin with. They woke up later on, but I did like this. Kross appears at the top of the ramp.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Just staring at him.
The thing is with Killer Kross, he doesn't have to say anything. And when he does speak, he says a lot. But sometimes he doesn't even have to speak. His face says it all. His face says a lot.
He's got a really sinister grin, if you notice that.
He's not a human being. There's something about Killer Kross. Like, he's not a human being. That man is something else.
No, he's an entity, man. He's an entity. Lately I've been me and my buddy Rob have been referencing a Killer Kross line when he did that little backstage with Willie Mack. He just stopped and Willie is like, "Let me ask you a question. Do you like jazz music?" And it's just like, what the fuck? So like, me and Rob would just be like, hey, you like jazz? And like, we'll just throw it out there like randomly, constantly. Hey, you like jazz? It was just such a random thing, and because he went into this whole thing about how jazz is very calculated and timed, and it was precise and blah blah blah. So fantastic. But yeah, he's just standing there looking at Eddie, distracting the shit out of him, and he distracts him further by picking up Kenny. Eddie is, goes and fights for Kenny, gets pulled away, and Phoenix takes advantage of that and pins Eddie. Kind of a quick roll-up. So Phoenix wins that, but in the meantime, Kross steals Kenny. But Kenny's gone, and Eddie's losing his mind. So what do you think here, Kyle? They set up Killer Kross really randomly in a feud with Eddie Edwards. No history. Kross was kind of looking at the main event with Johnny, and all of a sudden now it's feuding with Eddie Edwards. Where does that come from? What do you think?
Well, obviously Eli Drake is gone, so they had to reshuffle the deck as far as Eddie Edwards is concerned, and this is what they came up with. Killer Kross has abducted Kenny the Kendo Stick, which, by the way, you own another Kenny in your apartment still to this day, which I'm very jealous of, which I heard you may or may not use in sexual activities. That's just speculation, of course.
More emphasis on the may, but
yes,
go ahead.
Yes, may. But I guess this is what they came up with. They're going to have a feud between Eddie Edwards and Killer Kross, and Kenny the Kendo Stick is the start of it all. So, I'm not going to judge it because this is the first instance, the first act, if you will. we'll see where they go from here. But, I mean, Killer Kross type of guy, no matter what you give him, he's going to knock it out of the park every single time. So I have faith in that, Trent. But, yeah, I'm confused. Where is this going? Why? You know, I need to know more.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit from Philly, but I guess a lot of it's going to be explaining the backstage stuff. So we'll find out. We have to wait. We've got to be patient on this one. We'll be a little patient, but good match though, man. These two are solid. Phoenix kind of taking advantage of that moment and picking up that easy pin, but again, I don't know what to do with Phoenix. I think with Phoenix and Penta, they're kind of just riding them out a little bit, and they got
anything, Trent?
What I can tell you
got
is
the info? Any scoop?
I'll tell you this. The inside info I got is that they're off for the rest of May, you know, because they're going to do Double or Nothing. But they are advertised for New York both nights, and they are advertised for Slammiversary in July. So they're still advertised for Impact. They're still on some programs here. So we'll see. I mean, it could change tomorrow.
Could change. Yeah. Card subject to change, Trent, as always.
It could change tomorrow, but it could not change tomorrow. So it can go either way. So, but, you know, one of those things. Just keep watching, I guess. But all right, man. So we kick it over from that. Swann and Tommy are in the back, and you know, talking about the 4-on-4. Tommy says, "I got your back."
The orgy, the foursome.
It looks like he's going to come.
Foursome. He goes, "Yeah, let's do a foursome." So he mentions Willie's already in.
It looks like he's going to come.
And then, who can we get for a fourth? We can get for a fourth. And all of a sudden, you hear the Scarlet music. Scarlet appears. They're thinking to get some from Scarlet. She starts making her sexual innuendos, but then she
was thinking something bigger.
Something way bigger.
Boing.
And she summons Ba. Ba's there, and Ba's followed by is the other team member of this team here. So,
and for some reason, when you listen to the next minute here and you close your eyes, it doesn't sound like something from a wrestling show, but something out of a porn movie.
Oh no! Oh snap! Bah! 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 Oh! Yes! Yes!
Bah!
Yes!
Bigger!
Bah! Bigger!
We're going to war!
Oh! Okay, you got the brains too. That's what I'm talking about.
Crazy, isn't it? That's basically a porno. I don't know what to say.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Sorry. I didn't know it was over. Sorry. Continue.
I was thinking something a little bit bigger.
RVD comes out, making his TV debut with Impact now.
RVD, I feel like we didn't make a bigger deal about that, Trent. We should have kind of mentioned him at the top of the show, shouldn't we? It's RVD, big time veteran legend.
We're mentioning it now chronologically. I guess we can do that. But yeah, you're right. We could have mentioned at the beginning of the show, but hey, we didn't. So fuck it. RVD's there. Ego, Ethan Page interrupts. And they have a good back and forth. RVD kind of does the whole, who are you again? You know, I don't know you. You're nobody. I'm RVD. And so they got a little back and forth. And the challenge is laid out. And the challenge, I believe Page laid it out to RVD. He accepted.
How do you feel about Ethan Page, going with the steel chair? You know, what was he going for there?
He got Van Damnated for it, but he was going for a legit sit-down.
Like a fatherly sit-down, you know? Like a father approaching his son sternly, you know?
I was really hoping that RVD sat down on the chair backwards, kind of like what the cool dad would do.
Okay. Well, that's cool dad style. That's completely different. When you AC Slater the chair, that's cool dad. That's cool dad that's not about to take the belt off and, welt you up.
That's the AC Slater in the chair. I wish he would have done the AC Slater in the chair.
I think Old Ego Ethan Page is quite the opposite of cool dad, and that's why he took the chair to the face.
I'm talking RVD, because when he offered the chair to him.
Okay. Yeah.
When he offered RVD sit down, RVD just leaned on it instead. I was hoping he AC Slatered the chair.
Oh yeah, he totally should have AC Slatered.
but he didn't. So, and he got Van Damme for it. So that's what it is. They go to the back, and then Ethan's kind of licking his wounds, and Josh is like, Josh Alexander's pissed. He's pissed off at him that he went solo and got them into some shit. So he was upset that he kind of went rogue a little bit. But Moose comes in and calms them all down and says, "Hey, why don't you guys team with me? We'll instead of ego fighting RVD, we'll team with me. We'll figure something out." So they're setting something up right there. And then from that, Kyle, main event time. Michael Elgin, Big Mike, Johnny Impact and Pentagon. 3-way dance. Before we start, what's your have you seen, were you familiar with Michael Elgin prior to this?
Yeah, actually, Trent, I do know Michael Elgin. I haven't watched Ring of Honor in a long time, but at the end of me kind of being interested in Ring of Honor, I recall Michael Elgin as who me and Cody would refer to as Mullet Man. And fortunately for him, he's lost the mullet. Apparently, he no longer has the mullet. He looks much better. I think he has a much better look than the last time I saw him, but I've always enjoyed him. I've seen him live multiple times here in New York, and he was one of those guys that left an impression on us that we would always say, aside from the mullet, he was a great wrestler, and he doesn't have a mullet anymore, and he's in tip-top shape, and glad to have him here in Impact Wrestling.
My testicles are still located on my body.
I was in a live crowd once, AEW show years back. Someone he had the mullet, and some guy from the crowd says something like,
it was hideous, man. It was an
hideous.
Awful mullet. No disrespect to Michael Elgin. Let me fully admit here, Michael Elgin could kick my fucking ass without a doubt. I'm not shitting on the guy. He had an ugly, ugly mullet.
Yeah, he sure did. Some guy in the crowd goes, some guys yell something like, "You're losing your hair and your mullet," and Elgin just without hesitation just looks at the guy and goes, "It's because your mom pulled it out when I was going down on her." And everybody's, "Oh shit!" He burned this kid pretty bad. I think the kid left. I think he left.
He went home. That's enough
hates wrestling now. But no, it was a 3-way dance. Like a pretty good classic 3-way dance. It wasn't bad. It was a real solid match. But in the end, Elgin wins over Johnny with the Elgin bomb. So he does a cool thing where they let you know that the Johnny aspect is finishing up. Like he pinned Elgin pins Johnny, so it's like, all right, this guy even got pinned in his number one contender match. He's out. And then, but Pentagon was not in the ring at all during that. So it's Elgin, man. You're looking at your number one contender, Michael Elgin. I mean, how do you feel? I think it's too soon. But, what do you think? Are you...
Well, I wanted to mention that you mentioned the whole Johnny thing. Keep in mind that Johnny has the X Division Championship X from the Ultimate X, so he could cash that in at any moment. So they're definitely moving him from the main event scene into the middle of the card, where he will continue to be the mayor of Scumtown and be extremely entertaining because... I don't know if you know this, Trent. I am now number one Johnny Impact Mark.
What a scumbag.
Number one?
That's who I am now.
Number one?
Indeed. I'm the number one Johnny Impact Mark. So, yeah, they'll move him into the X Division scene. But Michael Elgin just seems like he's about to get the rocket ship up his ass, Trent. Am I wrong?
No, I think he's getting it quick. They're lighting that. They're lighting it as we speak, man.
I'm happy. I think he's great and he deserves the spot, but I can't help but think that's Killer Kross's spot, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Killer Kross was built up for the spot that Elgin's in now, and Elgin would be better off in taking the kendo stick away from Eddie Edwards, just coming in the company. But like we talked about earlier, I guess you got to strike when the iron's hot. But it just seems like, did they lose their way with Killer Kross a little bit?
That's what I'm wondering, man. He wasn't on the pay-per-view.
It's one of your best characters, too. That's uncalled for.
Racking my brain trying to figure it out, Kyra. I brought this up to a couple other people, too, and we're all kind of confused about it. So, no idea why Why, man? I don't know. It's strange. I'd like to find out. We'll see, Kyle. But yeah, man, that wraps it up. That's the May 3rd, 2019 edition of Impact Wrestling. It's already May, Kyle. What the fuck, man? This year, I feel like I was just at homecoming in January. We're already in May. I'm looking at Slammiversary in a month.
Feel like I was just at Bound for Glory in Queens.
Yeah, dude, that was a long time. It was 8 months ago almost.
Wow.
But
time flies. We're almost approaching our 1 year anniversary of the podcast together, Trent.
We're getting
our 1
there,
year. 1 year together. You've almost survived 1 year with the Kyle man.
Scumtown was not too bad. Had its shady moments, but not bad. Scumtown was good.
Not bad.
Scumtown was good with you for the last year.
Living in Scumtown, literally. You've been living in Scumtown.
I have. I've been living in Scumtown, man, but no, it's been a good run. We've had a good run in Scumtown. I appreciate it, and you've made me a damn good. You've brought up a lot of good stuff in me here, podcasting wise. I appreciate that, Kyle.
I think you've kept me alive, Trent. I think you've kept me alive. You kept me on point as much as you could.
We'll keep we'll save the verbal jerking each other off for July when we go to the official 1 year.
Yes.
We'll save it for that.
That'll be a big episode. The
Deal.
1 year.
Deal. Well, that's gonna do it, Kyle. That's the May 3rd edition. Did we miss anything or anything you want to talk about? Wrap it up.
It was a fun episode. Just the best part for me, Trent, was that I got to watch it on Impact Plus. Now you have to wait until Tuesday to catch it on Impact Plus, but I realized Twitch actually replays the new episode throughout the weekend. I need to figure out the exact schedule, but I did catch the episode on Twitch, not Friday, but on, I believe, Sunday afternoon.
See, I didn't know that. If anyone knows where we can find a Twitch schedule,
seriously,
let us know. Because that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, man.
And I found some. They're starting to pop up on the Roku app. There's some Twitch third party apps. So if you have to catch it live Friday and you're not accessible to Twitch, there are other options. I figured out how to run Twitch through Roku. But me personally, Trent, I'm going to be waiting till Tuesday. I love my Impact Plus app.
Yeah. So far, so good. I'm real happy with it. $8 a month is nothing. I'm real happy with it. But cool, man. All right, Kyle, tell people where they can find you. I'll plug everything else up after that. What you're up to, where they can come meet you for lunch.
That's right.
Come on.
None of that. Unless you're buying. If you're buying, you come have lunch with me anytime.
Absolutely.
Shoot me a follow at KL_TNI. And Trent, I'd like to give a shout out to our listener and lounge member, Eric Day Hoff. He sent me a nice signed 8x10 by Amber Nova. The beautiful Amber Nova. Signed by her. What a nice guy. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that.
Very cool. Eric has sent me something too, and
see, I whined that he sent you something, and he actually went and sent me something.
He did. He did, man. He heard your whining, and he said, "I can't have the guy whining," and feeling bad, so he took care of it. So Eric Day Off, thank you very much for being an amazing listener and these awesome gifts. That's
good,
really
man,
really
Eric.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. I'm gonna have to send you something back, and I have his address now. Sent to me from Sarasota, Florida. I've always wanted to go to Sarasota. That is home of the greatest radio station of all time, 102.5 The Bone, which I will work at someday, Trent. I'm gonna work there someday.
You will. You damn well will.
Big dream.
Good. No, you'll do it. You'll do it. But cool, man. Give Kyle a follow, guys. You can follow me at Vanilla Joke on Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow the show at We Talk Impact on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Go to the search, type in We Talk Impact, all one word, and Total Nonstop Impact comes right up. Give us a follow. Be sure to also check us out wherever podcasts are found: Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and YouTube, of course, under the Impact Lounge or Total Nonstop Impact. Search for either one. It'll come right up. Be sure, guys, if you're iTunes users, it takes you 2 seconds right now. Leave us a like or leave us a 5-star like, comment, review. Put it all in there. We look at everything. Help us get found by more Impact fans. So the more you rate the show, the more we get seen.
Unite.
What?
Unite.
Yeah. Unite. Tell people, hey, listen, you know somebody with an Apple phone, you're like, hey, man, give me your phone for just 1 second. Log into their iTunes and subscribe to us and vote for us. What the hell? Shit. You know, come on, man. We got to break a couple rules here, guys.
Yeah. All right. Relax there. Now you're turning into like Drew Galloway. Oh, stand up if you like wrestling podcast. If you and your friends like Impact Wrestling Podcast, you can listen to our podcast too. Stand up.
Yeah, it actually took about as long as your movie career, Johnny Boom Bones, the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, Steph!